Okay, this video is designed to teach you everything you need to know about the attributes bar up here. That's this bar located right underneath the menu bar at the top of the screen. Um, okay, so the first and most important thing to know about the menu bar, or excuse me, the attributes bar, is that it changes based on what object you have selected. For example, if you have an object that contains text selected, you'll get one menu bar, whereas if you have an object that contains graphic, colors, pictures, etc. selected, you will get a different sort of um, bar here. You can see note the change, see these options change. Okay, starting from the left up here, these options really don't change. Okay, this is you start out, you have your reference points. This box here is how you determine your reference point. The reference point is corresponds to these x, y coordinates over here. Okay, so if, as you see here, we have the top left reference point selected, which that corresponds to this handle on this object that's selected on the pasteboard. All right. Let's see if we come over here. This XY coordinates, this is the location. So if you have the X coordinate selected, you can move an object around by a 1/16 of an inch using these arrows. Okay, you can move it horizontally and you can move it vertically. Okay, now also you can come in here and manually enter a position. Okay, it also does math. You can add, or you can even give it a harder calculation, like let's say I want to move this 11/16 of an inch. Okay, it'll let you do that. Okay, this is just the width and the height. These work the same way. You can add, subtract using the arrows, or just by manually entering a value. Okay, you see that it changes whenever you resize the container here. Okay, moving on, we have color here, which you can select. You just drop down menu and you can select the color that you'd like to make it. We also have below that stroke. You can select the color of the stroke, and then here you can select the stroke weight. You can modify that and other things with the pattern of the stroke, etc. Generally don't modify these too much, but the options are there. And then moving across here, we have the text wrap. Okay, so you see right now it's set to no text wrap. Notice my text goes right over top of my object. Now that's fine if we've got you know, a color in there, but let's take the color out, and let's say we want to post a photo in there. So we'll come over here and we'll place a photo in that box. Okay, so now we've got a photo, and you see my text wrap is already changed to wrap around the object shape. Okay, this object that I placed here pushed my text over. If I take that off, my text goes over top. If I move it to this, which is wraparound bounding box, it goes all the way to the edge. Okay. Then of course there's jump line, which would make it jump down below here. It's actually down there. Okay. So we'll move this back, and then we'll set the text wrap to wrap around the bounding box. There we go. Okay. Now we have this over here, which is the fitting section. All right, we can fill frame proportionally, fit content proportionally, fit content to frame, fit frame to content, or center content. Okay. Generally, you want to fill the frame proportionally. Okay, you see that? because if you do, you can do fit content to frame, but what that will do is that will cause you to stretch your picture unproportionately, which you can see here under the effect of PPI. Okay? So you generally want to do fill frame proportionally. Sometimes you can do fit content proportionally, but then you see how much extra space you have down there. You can also do, let's say, we'll do that. You can then go over here. You can hit fit content proportionally and then fit frame to content, and that will just make sure that your picture is entirely within your frame. Okay? These are some alignment things, and I'll get into these a little bit later. Okay, so now we're going to select some text. All right, I have this title box selected here. As you can see, this is all the same. Really don't use anything here. You can add a stroke around your box. That works very much the same as it does with the photo. But the really important things that you need to note here are going to come over in this area, right? Okay. You have the alignment. This is your vertical alignment. Okay, you have this text box. You can see we've got some space towards the bottom here. You can choose to align the text to the top, the middle, or the bottom. We'll move these down so that it actually can come down to the bottom of this box. Now, note that it is also aligned to the baseline grid, which is part of the way the template's set up. But you can definitely see top, center, bottom. Okay. Another thing you can see here is the number of columns. Let's take this, move this down, and get all of our text in here. As you can see, this text is just going straight across the page, not paying attention to the columns at all. Okay, well, you see I have one column here, I can either use these arrows or I can just say that we have 5 columns. And there you go. All your text goes into your columns. Now, if we align this with the edges really quick, you see that the gutters don't exactly match up. That's because the gutters here are set to 1/8 of an inch. Our gutter size is 0.1667. That's just a number that you kind of have to memorize. But that's how you can, like, let's say we want to make this box smaller. Okay, you see how you still have these 5 columns? Click on this, take your gutters down. There you have it, and everything fits. And just these alignment things real quick. If I select all of these objects, and I just did that by clicking, dragging the box across all these objects, you can align their horizontal centers, align their vertical centers, align top edges, align bottom edges, move everything to the right. These just align the centers. And you also have, these are distribute. You can use these to move, to get elements to line up in the center with each other. But they're generally not used very much. Okay, so that is an overview of the attributes area.